Hello, this is graphing linear equations, functions as ordered pairs and rules. In this example 2, they want us to tell which relation is a function. So I'll analyze these choices and we'll figure out which are relations and functions. All of them are relations. We'll just figure out which ones are functions. So for A, it'll always have to do with the domain and the range. First of all, in A, the domain is 0, 5, and 10. When the domain is 0, sometimes the range is -2, sometimes the range is 3. When the domain is 5, the range is -4. And when the domain is 10, the range is 5. Now this right here makes it not a function. You can't have this going this way. If it was the opposite, that would be okay, but a fork going that way makes this not a function. So this is a no. Next, choice B, the domain and the range. When the domain is 0, the range is -1. When the domain is 1, the range is 2. When the domain is 4, the range is 8. And lastly, 6, 12. And there's no problem here. This is a function. This is a yes. So let's look at choice C. Choice C. We'll figure out the domain and the range and what the mapping is like. The domain is 0, -1, -2. When it's a 0, the range is 7. When the domain is -1, the range is also 7. And when the domain is -2, the range is also 7. And when the domain is -2, the range is also 8. So when the domain is -2, the range is 7. When the domain is -2, sometimes it's 8. And it's this fact right here that makes this not a function. The fact that the 0 maps to a 7, and the -1 maps to a 7, and the -2 also maps to a 7. This is a fork going that way, and there's no problem with that. It's this fork that has one domain mapping to two different ranges, which makes it not a function. So let's see choice D. We have the domain and the range. The -2 maps to a 9. The 4 maps to a 7, and the 4 also maps to a 5. And the 6 maps to a -3. So again, once more, it's this fork going this way that makes it not a function. Forks going this way are okay. So the only choice that is a function is choice B. That's the only one that is a function.